Hello guys, if you're new here, my name is Candy and I'm a homeschooling mama to 5. I thought I would bring you guys along for a day in the life today, as well as talk about the future of my channel, because some things are going to be changing. I have a bunch of Amish bread and muffins in the freezer, so I pulled out this vanilla Amish bread and we are going to have it with some fresh apple butter. Who is it?
Dr. Scott.
Dr. Scott. Is he the coolest?
Yeah, he finds bones and buries them. Like that one. These are danger bones.
Those are seashell fossils.
Yep.
And plant fossils.
Plant fossils.
The kids were up bright and early this morning and out jumping in puddles and just having a good old time. And so I just let them play until they were ready to come in, take baths, put on warm clothes, and get on with our day. Hey there, Mr. Puddles.
Mr. Puddles.
Hi, George. While they were out playing, I went ahead and started our first batch of seeds. We have 4 of these to fill up, so I just wanted to get started. That's your grass, Penny.
Thank you. Mom, tell me how stupid ugly. How stupid and how not ugly, Mama. I'm not build mine.
You didn't build yours?
Are you didn't do that?
Yeah.
Hello. Sit spot. Mama, so far?
Yep.
I didn't need that right here. So, boy. I'll put it down. House. Where? He lives in here. You can put it on this. I can't use green and you water blue. Then make it blue.
Look at the rotten George interrupting. Oh, hi, George. George, calm down.
Calm down, my puppy. Him crying. Lego, the lion in his country suit. And then the lion when he's about to boogie. Boogie, 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 boogie. Oh, yeah!
Also celebrated courage and strength with a big festival called the Olympic Games. The bravest and the strongest Greeks came to the Olympics to compete for prizes.
Ugly as I could get it.
Ugly as a cyclops.
Ugly as I could get, guys. Ugly. Oh my! That's ugly. Vinny, that's ugly. Okay, what's my jewelry?
Right there, the first Olympics.
The paper dress. What do I do?
We have been reading about the first Olympics and all of the feasts they used to have, so I threw together some olives, goat cheese, pepperoni, salami, cheese, and Cheez-Its because we didn't have like crusty bread, and they had that with grape juice because, you know, they aren't drinking wine. So that was our Greek-themed lunch today. Mika, what's your favorite?
All of it, but the goat cheese.
Mine was the goat cheese.
Me too.
I'm gonna get more anyway. There's some more.
Next.
Red.
Easy.
The next one's going to be purple.
I don't think I have a purplish brown.
Nope, just purple.
No.
You might have to have somebody pass you purple.
Pass me a purple.
Penny?
Oopsie.
Okay, purple, and then the next one's blue.
And then what's the last
Black.
one? Black, I have that.
Ew, did he kiss your mouth?
He does.
He loves you, Penny. Or he smells salami one way or the other. It might be salami because he's sniffing Bubba too.
It's about me, Bob. Feel. It's all about the virus. Stupid virus.
It's all about the virus. Everything's closing.
Hate that stupid virus.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a crazy world.
Horrible, crazy world.
And then Jai Jones. To the star field.
Garfield.
That's Joey. Joey, that's how to.
Okay, so the kids are playing and I am working on a leftover makeover for dinner. I am going to combine our leftover macaroni from the other night with some leftover pizza toppings and get it all in this pan and bake it up, and that's going to be dinner. So as you can tell, after we made our pizzas and calzones the other night, I just mixed the sauce, mushrooms, and olives and threw it in the fridge and left it for later. So I mixed that with the macaroni, put it in the pan, put the cheese and all the rest of the pepperonis we had on top, and just baked it until it was all warm. I have been a lot more aware of how many leftovers we're using and trying to use things twice if needed so that we aren't wasting things. So instead of this sauce and the pepperonis and the mushrooms and olives all getting lost in the fridge and me not finding them for 2 weeks, instead this is our dinner tonight, and it was good. The kids loved it, loved it, loved it. They said, "You should be making this more, Mom." So this may be a new future fun night dinner when we do our date night at home for the kids, because they thought this was great. They kept saying this is like every kid's two favorite things, macaroni and pizza, and so they were calling it Pizzaroni. My what's for dinner this week is all about using what you have in your pantry and your freezer, so I will link that in the description box below if you want to check it out also. Hey guys, so last night when I was videoing and showing dinner and things, a friend of mine called me and she asked me if I could help her. She works at a little store and she needed help stocking the shelves and unloading a truck, and I said, okay, I'll be there. So got the kids ready for bed, and James got them off to bed, and I went up and helped her for a while. I have to say it was a little bit scary. We worked for several hours. We got everything on the shelves and set up how it's supposed to be, and yet there was still huge gaps. There was things that didn't come. They told her if the warehouse doesn't have it, they can't send it. It worries me. It does. I'm not somebody who usually worries about these things because I usually know we have enough here that if anything were to change, like something would happen because my husband has a bad heart or work, I know that at least we have beans, we have rice, we have lentils, we have canned things, we have frozen things, we have meat in their deep freeze. Not fresh things, but things. And I do buy a lot of produce that is fresh and then parboil it or blanch it or whatever and get it in the freezer so that, you know, I could still keep more fresh type things too. But it's scary. I mean, people don't, I don't know, like people have been so panicked and buying everything to the point that warehouses don't have food. And it's scary. It really is scary. Like, just to think that if I were somebody who only buys a week worth of food at a time, to have to walk into the store and see no meat, no beans, no rice, no flour, no sugar, I would panic. So I understand now why people are panicking a little bit, because It is. It's scary. Like, I just thought people are buying it faster than they can get it, but they can't even get it at this point. So that does worry me a little bit. That being said, something hit my door and it scared me. It was probably a child. Anyways, that being said, we are working on some stuff we have been talking about for quite a while. We have said for now a little bit that we want to grow a garden, we want to have animals, we want to do all these things, and we have the room now to do them, and we haven't put steps into order. And I've been telling James since we moved here, we need to do this, we need to do that, and he keeps saying, we have time, we have time. Well, now is the time. So I have 3 of those starter little greenhouses that hold 72 plants already set up with seeds in them, and then I have 1 more that we are going to do when James gets home, because he forgot to bring me some of the seeds in the house. He found another bag in the car, so when he gets here I'm going to do those. That way I make sure that I have a little bit of everything planted, and we aren't going to have to worry, at least about fresh produce. There are things I know how to can. There are things I'm going to learn. I know how to make jam, I know how to make pickles, pickled peppers, pickled okra, things like that. I'm going to figure out how to can things like green beans and peas. It's a life goal, and it's going to be one soon. I am not sick. I do have a little bit of a cough. It is because it was 80 the other day, and then it was like 20 or 30 or whatever the other night. And anytime that happens, I get really bad bronchitis. And that's kind of the direction I'm headed, which really isn't good because I don't want to and won't go to the doctor. But I'm going to show you what seeds we have so far. So in all of those, we have our little sticks. 2 of the kits came with sticks, 2 did not, so I used some popsicle sticks from the kids' craft box. They'll get over it. But we have watermelon, cantaloupe, bell peppers, jalapenos, banana peppers, carrots, green beans, peas, eggplant, crookneck squash, spaghetti squash, butternut squash, acorn squash, Roma tomatoes, beefsteak tomatoes, grape tomatoes, carrots. I don't remember what else. I've got all the sticks and I don't want to have to take the tops off to see them all. But I would like to, after I see what James has got, possibly get some zucchini and patty pan squash, and that will be our garden. And then also we are definitely going to look into Maddie's dream come true here, a couple of cows, and then probably a couple of pigs as well. We have tons of land here. We have like 100 acres. It's fenced around the outside. We're going to fence off a section on one side or the other, and then of course build a pig pen. Because we'll feed out pigs and cows, and we'll do what we have to do. We have 5 kids to feed. This is something that was going to be a long-term goal anyway, but now it's a life goal now. This way we don't have to worry about going to the store and seeing nothing on the shelves. I mean, there are still things we'll need. We'll need sugar, we'll need flour. Lord knows I need coffee. But we'll have all these things, and I'm trying really, really hard to convince James that we need a goat. He has adamantly told me no goats, no chickens. He also told me no rabbits, and I made 7 of those appear, and he just kind of sucked it up. I might make some goats appear. I really want to have goat milk and make goat cheese, and it could happen. If it happens, you guys know James was not a willing participant in it, or he caved because I really want goats. But we need chickens too for egg laying and for meat. Trying to convince him of that. I'll work it out. He kept saying we only needed like little flower bed gardens, and we've had those for years. That doesn't provide enough for us to get through summer and winter, and that's what I want to do. And he knows that I'm willing to can it and freeze it and preserve it however I have to. So he caved on that. He told me I can have a garden as big as I want as long as he doesn't have to help with the garden after work. And he actually the other night brought up the cows and the pigs, and he was like, you know, I know we said we were going to wait till next year, but he said I went in the store for something and I just went down the meat aisle and there was like nothing there. And I think we better get our calves and we better get our pigs. So I'm thankful for that because I'm glad that he and I are on the same page. I mean, this is something I've been preaching to him for years. We need to get on this level. We need to get to a sustainable level where we're not relying on other people to provide our food to the stores, to provide our food to us to have to buy. I mean, yes, I know there's cost with raising animals. I grew up on a farm. My dad was a butcher. My brothers were butchers. So I do know how to actually butcher and break down meat. So, I mean, I could handle it. Probably won't. I'll probably have it taken to a butcher. At least not, but like big animals. But like chickens, I can do. So that won't be a big deal. But yeah, I think we are on a good path with this, and at least something will come of it. I mean, my kids are about to go crazy with this isolation. I don't know about you guys, but we have 2 different co-ops we go to. We have like PE day at the gym. We have park days with friends. We have cousins, and it's just like library days and library events, and things start to pile up, and you really kind of wish you were home. So this past week has been like kind of hard for the kids. They're like, can we go here? Can we go there? Well, no, because my one is high risk because of her arthritis. She is on an immunosuppressant, and so she can't leave home at all right now. And I mean, I do worry about her because, I mean, like I said, the medication she's on, it's not safe for her to leave home. And so we will see how long this lasts, but I don't think she'll be leaving home until it does. Usually if I have to go to the store, or if I need something, I just lately have been telling James pick it up. His car's been broke down anyway for the past week with the thermostat out, and he just has time today to finally go fix it. And he's been driving my car because, I mean, we can't go anywhere, so I'm not even taking him to work. I've been sleeping, so that beats getting up at 3 to take him somewhere to have a car when he can't go anywhere. But yeah, I mean, I feel good about having these plants started. I feel good about looking for cows. I feel good about looking for pigs. I feel good about building fences until I have to do it. Then I'm gonna be crying about building fences. I'm kidding, I won't be. I'll be excited. I'll be so excited. But that's because that's what I grew up with. Living in town, and all those things were not things I ever wanted for my kids. I know people live in town and it works for them, but it has always felt weird to me because we grew up in a little bitty town. We didn't live in anywhere near the stores or anything. We had to go like 30 minutes to go grocery shopping. And so to me, being in town has always been this like struggle. And so right now at this point in time, I'm so happy like that let's see how much I want to go into this. Okay. When we were looking for a house, we had 12 days left to move. Couldn't find anything. Many of the places we looked at were like, you have how many kids? Oh no, and they literally take the application back from me. Or if they were okay with us having 5 kids, the location was really shady, or the landlord seemed really shady, or whatever. And we had looked at this place like 2.5 years ago. The lady took our number. She said she would call us. That the house was trashed on the inside. She had to deal with it, and then she would call me. She never called me. She lost my number. We had 2 days left to move. Maddie was 9, 10 months old. I was so stressed out, so stressed out. I had everything else in the house packed except for like the few bare minimal things. Everything was in boxes lined up on walls. I was scared to death. We were about to lose everything we owned. Like, I was scared. And we came out to have dinner with James's parents, who live like a quarter mile down, and we were on our way to their house. We both looked over here and James said, man, it's a shame we never did get that house. And we were like, yeah, it sucks, but you know, she must have got somebody to rent it by now. And he's like, no, it still looks empty. He's like, I don't know. And then we were leaving his dad's house a few hours later. It was almost dark, and she was out here staking out a for rent sign. And we stopped and we talked to her, and she took the sign, stuck it back in her car, and she said, I'll meet you here tomorrow with a lease if you really want the house. And so she showed us the house the next day. James was at work. I signed that lease. And then I went home, started loading up boxes and moving stuff. We moved everything in 24 hours that we own. And she told us, she said, I don't care. Pretend it's your land. You deal with all the pastures and the hay and the mowing and whatever needs done. She said, as long as the yard's clean and mowed and the house is clean and taken care of, you do you. Pay your rent. She's like, you know, I'm too old to have to argue over this. Like with her previous renter who didn't pay rent for like 6 months, she said, before she made him move, and then he busted up pipes, tore up all her cabinets in the kitchen, so she had to replace all those. Just crazy. And so she was like, you know, I just don't want bad tenants. And she said, I come from a family of 8 children, so I know you guys are going to do what you have to do for your kids, and if this is what you want for your kids, you're going to take care of it, you're going to do right by it. So it was like meant to be. And she's the sweetest lady in the world. Her sister passed away a couple months ago, and it was really hard for Mika because Mika would go sit down there and talk to her often, and they were just good friends. And we went to the funeral, and it was hard. But Mika wanted to say goodbye, and like I said, they're just the best people, and we have been very, very blessed with them. She bakes us bread on holidays. She brings us stuff from her garden. Just like last year, she brought me like 200, 300 radishes. Like, but just anything that she has that they can't eat because it's just her and her husband. She's a very sweet lady. She's very kind. And so we are very, very lucky to be here because she doesn't care if we have pigs. She don't care if we have cows. When we get them butchered, I will probably bring her some stuff like some steaks or some roast or something to show her appreciation. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know that if you don't see things that you need in the store, don't yell at the people that work there. I've been seeing and hearing so much about people getting mad and screaming and yelling at people at the store because things aren't in stock. And it's often not the store's fault. That's where I was going with all of this. And then I got sidetracked. Anyways, yeah. Like, you know, I keep seeing people who are like, oh, I yelled at this person because blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, wow. Like, you know, they have all the same worries and struggles you do, but then they're dealing with you. And so really just think about other people. Think about what other people need. Think about whether or not you really need every last package of rice in the store, because chances are the store's not getting those things in because everybody's buying them all, and if the warehouses don't have them, the stores don't have them, and then the customers don't have them. And also, something I think that would be really neat is if you know people who struggle, or if you know older people or people who might be in high-risk areas, if you would think about maybe making them up a care package. Maybe if you have extra rice or beans or canned goods, you know, it may mean everything to them if you just put those things together and leave it on their porch with a nice note. I mean, anyways, guys, kids are outside on the trampoline. I need to go check on them. I need to check on the dinner and the smoker. I need to get them to do their chores pretty soon, and I need to do my chores. I just felt chatty, and so I thought I'd talk to you guys about what the future is looking like for us. and I think this means the direction of our channel is going to change a little bit because there will be more homesteading and farming and things like that coming up. There will still be homeschooling, there'll still be weekly what's for dinner videos, there will still be grocery hauls when we go to the grocery store, assuming the grocery stores have food anytime soon, all that jazz. And I hope that if you have not already subscribed, that you will subscribe, and that if you enjoyed this video, you'll give it a thumbs up. And I would love to chat in the comments below about what your family is doing about this whole situation with toilet paper and grocery stores and food shortages and the future, and what you guys think of everything. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.